Working in the flea market so early. I've been working here since my mama was a baby. Just because the rhythm is slow, that don't mean that you can't flow. In the rain or in the snow,
in the rain or in the snow,
got the funky flow.
got the funk flow, got the.
In the rain or in the snow,
In the rain or in the snow,
got the funky flow.
got the funk flow.
All you ever need is to be nice and friendly.
All you ever need is to be nice and friendly.
All you ever need is to be nice and friendly.
All you ever need is to be nice and friendly. All you
remember, strike it rich, the key is love. Save everybody from way up above. I can sell a bottle cap like this.
I will try to sell a cap like this.
I can sell a bottle cap like this.
I will try to sell a cap like this.
I never dream it would be like these. I am the number one ruler of the seven seas. The skunk over here will bring you luck.
The skunk over here will bring you luck. The skunk over here will.
The pump over here comes with a truck.
The pump over here comes with a truck. The pump over here comes with a.
Oh yes, I had a lot of fun. I meet a lot of bucks and now I'm on the run. In the rain or in the snow,
In the rain or in the snow,
got the funky flow.
got the funky flow.
In the rain or in the snow,
In the rain or in the snow,
got the funky flow.
got the funky flow.
Let me tell you something that I never told you before. Listen this. I have never sold everything.
I have never sold everything.
You have never sold everything.
You have never sold everything. You have
Money is all you need.
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 Your father's gonna be very proud of you. Let me know if you have another flea market. I will help you, or you will help me.
You got that right, teacher. Thanks a lot.
Okay. STP. Okay guys, welcome to today's STPL. Sorry for running a little bit late as always, but today I actually had a valid reason. I had a phone appointment with my doctor, so that was fun. Hopefully what I've got going on isn't too dangerous or anything. I just had some kind of weird marks appear on my skin and I was like, should probably check with the doctor about that because I don't know what the hell they are and I didn't see them until someone pointed them out to me. So that's always fun. But yeah. Enough about that. We have a great matchup coming for you today. If you've not seen the STPL before, this is the format. Best of 5 all the way through. Well, it's a best of 5 series. Best of 1 all the way through. Lineups are selected in advance and all the games are played at the same time. Set 5 is of course the ace match and any player can play again, or a player that wasn't there for the war can be there as well, but that very rarely happens. Where the maps we got for this season: Blindside, Bluestorm, Towercross, Triathlon, Holy World SE, Judgment Day, and Neo Electric Circuit. It's good to have some of these maps back. Some of them we've not really had in since since the previous seasons. All of these maps have appeared before in the STPL, apart from Bluestorm and Talcross, which are two of the more common maps known to us in the foreign scene, so hopefully a lot of players should be a lot happy with that. Let's introduce our lineups for today. I was going to cast 2 series today, but given I had my appointment with my doctor and I wasn't sure how long that was going to be, I've put Ash versus CWT on Friday. But we have a walkover in match 1, unfortunately. There was a bit of a mix-up between the 2 teams. The rules weren't really understood. Basically, the walkover rules, if I remember rightly, and I should know this, you know what, I'm going to say what they are. You can look them up in the thread. But one of the players left early thinking they'd already got a walkover. And I've also set this up wrong. It's not Cadenzi playing at all. I misclicked. Why is Cadenzi showing that? Oh, it's because I've put her in the wrong place. It's Isu instead. Let's quickly see how quickly I can do this, and you'll see how good my overlay is. Look at this, already ready. I can re-add the win for Terra, and then we can get started. But yep, basically, so the players we've got Fleta versus STRYKER, a PvZ on Blindside in game number 2. That should be good. We've got Sodam versus Dragon in a ZVP on Judgment Day. I'm looking forward to that one as well. And then finally, we have Jisoo versus Whip. Now, if you don't know who Jisoo is actually Tossgirl, the ex-pro gamer. So we have Tossgirl in the STPL. Really looking forward to seeing her TBT. And I'm really hoping we get a really good TBT, because it's very rare I get to see TBT. And when I do, it's like a 5-minute, someone cheeses someone and wins. Like, I don't want to see that. I want to see battle cruisers. I want to see nukes, ghosts, lockdown. I want to see the whole shebang. Let's use all of the Brood War units. Come on. Let's hope for a good TBT today, because we could have got 2, and one of them was a walkover. So I feel a little bit robbed. And yeah, Lucky Noob got baited by the ZVT. Unlucky. No ZVT today. You would think that with the amount of Zergs we have in the tournament, there would be more ZVT, but whenever Terrans play, it's either a TVT or a TVP, so unlucky. TVZ fans, you will have fun on Friday, because game number 1 is between Hit 'em Up and Zoom on New Electric Circuit. That's going to be a TVZ. And we also had a very good TVZ the other day. Who was it? It was Ira versus Mitak, if I remember correctly. That was actually a really good late game TVZ, so you can't complain. Yeah, Tossgirl is playing Gosevigi. It's kind of cool. Let's introduce our first couple of players. We won't introduce Fleta because I know nothing about them, but we will say a few very quick words about STRYKER. STRYKER's played quite a lot for NaS over the course of the STPL. He's beaten some really good players such as SPX and Koga as well, and he also beat Wiko's Speed in his last 10 ZVPs. Speed is actually a very good Protoss from South Korea, so looking forward to seeing how he's going to do against this other South Korean Protoss player. But STRYKER is, of course, Zerg, so one for Lucky Noob and some other people who love Zerg as well. The map we're going into is Blindside, a map designed specifically for the STPL. It was made in the STPL Season 4 map contest. It has since been used in various tournaments. It's currently in use in the BWCL. And I'm very happy for Minerals, because this map led some very, very good games last season, and it's the exact reason why I bought it straight back, because I knew that if we needed a good 2-player map, this was definitely going to lead to good games. And so far, it's done us pretty well. And when you look at the balance as well, it's actually been insane how lucky it's been, apart from TVZ. Now, I don't know if that's just because the TVZs were imbalanced, or maybe it's just because Tasagi, I don't really know. But yeah, it's something to look out for. Definitely something I'm looking forward to as well. And let's get into it. It's going to be game number 1. Or game number 2, sorry. With NaS starting 1-0 up. Okay, starting us off here in the top middle position in the silver, fighting for StarCast. It's Fleta. And in the bottom middle, as our Zerg player in the blue, fighting for NaS, it's STRYKER. Now, if you're confused why we're starting on game 2, if you've just tuned in, it's because there was a walkover in game number 1 due to a miscommunication with the rules between like one of our newer teams. So it's bound to happen. It happens a lot. That's one of the problems with hosting a team league with players from all over the world. With so many different players, all trying to get them organized at the same time is almost impossible. And that is why the job the team captains do is absolutely incredible. And it's why you should give them as much props as you possibly can, because a lot of work goes into organizing solo tournaments and stuff. But when you compare it to the amount of work that team captains have to do for team leagues, it's a completely different kettle of fish. Like, solo tournaments, the players have to organize themselves, and the only person that gets hurt by them not turning up is themselves, so they are going to turn up. With a team league, it's like, oh, maybe my team can sub me or something, so maybe someone just doesn't feel like playing, and they just don't show up or something, and then the team captain has to make sure all their players are on the right time in the right place. They get their games played, they get the replays sent into them. It's such a massive amount of effort put in by the team captains, and the fact that some of these team captains, like Dragon, who's been a team captain in STPL since Season 1, is absolutely incredible. So, a huge shout out to them while we get ready to get into the game. Gateway first by Fleta over here. Very standard opening in PvZ recently. It is a 12 hatch, which isn't the most common build in modern ZVP, just because gateway first can be quite problematic, but as long as you get your spawning pool fast enough, as long as you get your lings out and you can control them well enough, it shouldn't be too much of a big problem. The probe didn't manage to block the hatchery, so STRYKER did a very good job getting that up on time. And we're looking good to see a pretty nice opening here from both players. We've got the Nexus coming in after gateway, so no Forge here, of course, knowing that his opponent went for pool after hatchery. He knows he's perfectly safe to build this Nexus, no problems whatsoever. And just while we're waiting, a big shout out as well to our sponsors, Esport Fund and Matrino. You can add 30 cents to the prize pool completely free, courtesy of Matrino. There's 20 codes remaining. Hit that link in chat. Log in with one of your many social media accounts. They don't use your account for anything else other than logging in. You can even use your Twitch account as well if you want to use that. And you can hit the claim code button to add 30 cents to the prize pool. Very worth it. There's 20 codes remaining. Let's try and get them all used this season. There's usually some left over. But the more codes we use, the more chance there is likely of getting more codes for following seasons. So make sure they do all get used up. Okay, probe being chased around, not really too much going on at the moment. It will be interesting to see if STRYKER goes for a 3-hatch Hydra bus. Third hatch is already coming up along in the close position, which is kind of the standard expansion pattern on this map. But we do have a Zealot getting ready to come into the natural. Didn't actually poke in too far. Didn't want to lose it to the Zerglings, so just playing it safe as Fleta back here. Getting his first cannon up most likely in just a second, but that's going to be cannon after gas. Core should come up as well, so it's going to be cannon after core as well. So this is very fast tech here for our Protoss player. Not something that you often get to see, but given the opening of our Zerg, it's the reason why this works. Fleta is very good with this probe micro, by the way. Keeping this alive this long is quite difficult. Obviously, it not being in the main base means he's not getting this all-important information of what is coming, which kind of puts him in a dangerous spot, but it's not the end of the world. It's still early in the game, and there is still a chance that he'll slip a Zealot in there as well. Or even getting a drone for his troubles there. STRYKER with a little bit of a mistake. Definitely not something he wanted to do, but while these are here, the other 3 Zealots can start moving towards the natural. Looks like he wants to do that. He's going to keep poking in with this one Zealot. Maybe he's just going to bring them together and go for an all-out push. That looks like what he wants to do. This is a good choice. Force his lings out. There is no Hydra Den yet, so no Hydras will be coming in to defend against this. Spire is on the way. This third hatchery is actually in a lot of trouble now. I can see Lucky Noob spamming, well not spamming, posting the 6-minute cursor mode. I don't know if we're going to get it past 6 minutes, but I'm hoping that STRYKER should be able to use his Lings well enough here to save the hatchery and take us in to the mid-game. Still only one cannon back here. Imagine if rather than a Spire, there was a Hydra Den built and there was a 3-hatch Hydra bust coming right now. There is absolutely nothing Fleta would be able to do about it. STRYKER coming in at pretty good angles, only losing a few Lings there to take out all of those Zealots. Really, really nicely done. Seriosity, all the results of STPL ever are all on Liquipedia, thanks to the great help of people like FakeFin and Pankrat, who both did an amazing job over the previous seasons, adding all the results of all the games individually and everything. Massive shout out to them as well. I don't think there is a page for the new ones just yet, but you can find the results of those from the VODs. There's only been like 3 casts so far. Is that for the like the foreign ranking system? Because that's kind of cool. It's a very nice initiative. Also, long time no see as well. I've not seen you for ages. Okay, +1 almost finished. Well, about 2/3 of the way finished. We've got Zealot leg speed on the way. Templar Archive should be coming in after this. Of course, it is a Muta build, so... Oh my god, he can't be losing to Corsairs like this. One Scourge connects. Can he get the second one? If he can kill this Corsair, these Mutalisks are going to be so powerful. Looks like the second Corsair has got away, but with only one cannon in the main. If any Mutalisks pop out in a moment, which I think they will be, yep, we've got Mutalisks coming. This could be a very, very big turnaround. I think STRYKER was having a little bit of trouble earlier on in the game, but essentially these Mutalisks are going to have no contention whatsoever. Okay, the first set of Mutalisks are coming out here, and they're going to show themselves to the Zealots. I'm not really sure I agree with this, but I guess he does have to try and kill the Zealots if he can. People saying they have a lot of channel points. What I'll do is I'll eventually do that stream, and then I'll put up like another community goal that people can donate to. Not sure what it'll be, but we'll figure something out. I mean, it's been nearly a year since I... Well, it's not been a year. It's been like 6 months since I promised a drunk stream, and I still haven't done it. So, we need to be careful. +1 Carapace coming in. Now, that's actually going to make them very strong. We didn't have +1 air weapons coming in, so... Corsairs are not going to be the only answer. You can gamble them away like a degenerate as well, like Lucky Noob says, if you're in a country that allows gambling on Twitch. Okay, this High Templar is not really sure where he's going, but I think he wants to go on holiday or something. Maybe he can't fit through the... He can fit through that gap, right? Okay, we've got Zealots coming into the natural. One drone, or the third base, one drone is killed. But only one drone, not the biggest deal. STRYKER on an insane drone count for this stage in the game. A lot of Mutalisks already up, a lot of Scourge as well, and they will have +1 Carapace soon. +1 Carapace legitimately just finished as I clicked away from the Scourge. And that makes these Corsairs much less powerful. Now, of course, Corsairs in big enough numbers can still damage Mutalisks. But it's definitely a little bit harder when they don't have the upgrade advantage. And even if he gets +1 attack, he's going to be behind in those upgrades, so that's always rough. STRYKER doing a pretty good job holding things quite steady over here on his side of the map. No 4th base attempt just yet, but he does have the 6 hatcheries. Wait, that's 7 hatcheries now, isn't it? Yeah, 7. We've got a load of Sunkens coming in all over the place, just stopping any form of ground counters, and that's exactly what's going to be coming his way. Overlord's going to be in a bit of trouble here, going to supply block STRYKER a little bit, but while this is going on, the Mutas fly immediately to the main. There's still only one cannon, and this could be a lot of damage. We'll have to keep an eye out what exactly happens with the Corsairs here. One of the Corsairs definitely going to go down. And that's a little bit too much damage so far by the Muteless. Here we go, more Corsairs coming in, getting a good couple of connections. A lot of health on the Corsairs, though I don't think StRyKeR realizes he has such an upgrade advantage. Playing a little bit safe, pulling back. He's killed some probes, he killed the cannon, and he's actually taken the supply lead as well. So there we go. And then Metaphysics, thank you. I'm glad you like the map pool this season. I tried to make it a little bit more standard because I know a lot of people were a little bit put off by the fact there was so many brand new maps last season. But of course we did keep Blindside this season because I did like all the games on it. I genuinely thought about putting Desert Dwellers, but the games on that usually lasted like 50 minutes, and it wasn't because the games were interesting, it was because neither player could attack each other. And while I like 50-minute games, I thought Blindside, which had like 50-minute action-packed games, would be better, so I chose that over Desert Dwellers. Lemon could be interesting to put in. I'd be more interested to see how it goes over the ASL season. Oh, another Corsair going down. No additional Corsairs being added on, by the way, so these Mutas are getting stronger and stronger. No additional upgrades coming in just yet. We do have Overlord Speed, though. Very late on the Overlord Speed, actually. Here come the Mutas coming back in. No damage to be found this time, but they are going to fly back away with full health. We finally do have that switch coming into Hydras as well. Very standard in ZBP to make sure you get a lot of Hydras. A lot of cannons over here at this base, and still not all that many Mutas, only 10 Mutas. Not really enough to contest too much. And he can't really do... There's only 5 Corsairs here, but he's playing it so careful, knowing that these are kind of the big linchpin he's got at the moment. If he loses all these Mutas, he is going to be in a lot of trouble. So he does have to be careful. Minerals actually built a new version of Blindside for this season, but we're not using it. He made the ramp in the middle wider, so I think it counts the whole thing rather than the 2 split ramps. But because BWCL is using the old version already, we thought it would be better for the players just to keep the version the same. And it's also the same as the previous season's version as well, so always got to do what's best for the players. LRM Game turns up in chat and says, Anarcho is a noob. I don't know who that is. I've not seen anyone in chat called that name, but this isn't live footage, it is live replays essentially. They've not been seen anywhere. The games are played on Sunday, and then I cast them on Monday, Wednesday, and sometimes Friday as well. It's mainly because casting a team league with 8 teams, 9 teams, casting 8 best of 5s in one day, not only requires all of the players to wait around for hours, which is impossible given we're a global team league and people are playing at like silly o'clock in the morning in Korea, but also it makes it easier to cast it all. And to be honest, I don't really think that watching replays changes anything as long as you've not seen the game anywhere else, so I've never really minded it. Muteless taking down a Dragoon, not something you really see very often, but once again running from the Corsairs. Still no +1 attack upgrade, still only one carapace. Oh, but this is actually powerful. A lot of the Corsairs going down immediately. All of a sudden, all of the Air Force from Fleta is completely gone. And now Fleta is going to be relying entirely on pretty much Dragoons and Templar to deal with these. The games on Wikipedia don't have dates for round 1. I wonder if I can get you those. I might be able to get you those. It may not be in like a perfect format, but I'll try and get it for you. Maturino doesn't have the actual individual game results either. Okay, a load of Templar are actually being sniped there by these Mutas. A lot of Mutas do go down to get them, but with no Lurkers or with no Templar, it makes it very hard to break these Lurkers. He's got nothing to kill them. He's got no obs at the front of his army. And the Dragoon Zealot army doesn't really deal very well with Lurkers, so... Thank you, Alex Anderson. That means a lot. I'm glad you enjoy watching the cast as well. But here we go. Looks like we do have a pretty big engagement coming in. One problem that this Protoss force does have is he's fighting from inside a forest. If his observer isn't there, his units will not be able to see everything. As you can see, okay, it's a little bit more difficult to see, but essentially there's lower vision on these tiles. You'll be able to see it from STRYKER's view. You can see that these units barely have any vision. And that's a big, big problem for Fleta. He's lost a large chunk of his army. He's pushed back to his high ground. We still... Okay, we have the 4th base up and running now, but no 5th base yet for our Protoss player. Lurkers getting on top of all of the Zealots. Zealots not having an observer. The observer getting sniped at the last second. So these Lurkers have got free reign over everything. And I think STRYKER may have done this. Fleta is in so much trouble. We've even got units pushing up to the natural. They're going to get hit by the cannons. But if he can snipe this High Templar, that would be insane. Looks like he's not able to do it just yet. But STRYKER with such an army advantage right now. The Overlords here as well, soaking up some of the hits from the Dragoons. Giving an even better engagement for these Lurkers and the Hydras. As the Dragoons are just taking hits for free. And looks like we are going to have the Lurkers pushing forward. Finally, we have a storm. 3 Lurkers getting killed in one storm. Definitely not something STRYKER wants. Another storm. 360 no-scope that Lurker out. But there's still so many Lurkers. There's still so few observers. This only observer is running into where the Overlords are. It's just out of range. The Hydras cannot get it. But if he got that over, like the observer, that would be game over pretty much. We've got so many units heading across the map from all sides. Even units back here just waiting to be called in. The Archon moving forward, getting on top of the Lurkers. The Lurkers focusing on the Zealots for now. So the Archon does clear up one of those Lurkers and gets away. But GG, Fleta taps out. And STRYKER takes game number 2. He will be back in a few minutes with game number 3. Okay guys, welcome back. We're heading into game number 3 of today's SCPL. We're going to have Dragon up against Sodam. It's going to be on Judgment Day. ZVP on this map is 5 for 5 so far. This map was first used in Season 1 and it's been back here for Season 2. Now Sodam has played on this map already and he did lose to Tech. That was last week. So can he beat his losing streak on this map and win his second game in the STPL? Dragon is going to be the one to stop him. Let's find out. If Dragon wins this, of course, it is going to be a victory for NaS over quite possibly the favourites to win this season. So let's see if Dragon can do it. It's game number 3. Okay, starting us off here in the top left-hand corner, fighting for NaS. It's their captain, the king of ZVP and PvZ. It's Dragon, fighting for NaS. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom right-hand corner, fighting in the teal. For StarCast, it's Sodam as our Zerg player. Okay, PvZ once again, we've got Dragon walling in at the front. Now if you've never seen this map before, I did kind of show off the map before, but you have your 3 bases. Not the most common of layouts, it's kind of like guillotine, or guillotine, however you like to say it. Guillotine, that's wrong, isn't it? It is guillotine, right? Either way, you have a mineral only at the front, which is kind of like your natural, as it were. And your gas is technically your 3rd base, but you can take it as your natural as well. That you do need to defend this choke right here, or you are going to be in a lot of trouble. And now it looks like Dragon is going to scout second, so nothing too much to worry about there. We've got most likely a 12 hatch coming up here. Looks like he's going to 12 hatch at the front. Not necessarily a bad idea, allows him to get Sunkens up here quite early. I've had like a really weird day today. I worked, I had an interview about something, and then I had a doctor's appointment, so what a fun day. Okay, Forge being built first, so no gate first for Dragon. One thing about Dragon, and the one reason why I like watching his PvZ so much, he is of course a Protoss versus, or he's a Protoss main, but he plays ZVP, so he knows exactly how to play to deal with most of the stuff that Zerg can throw at him, because he's also playing Zerg. And when you watch his EVP, he plays like the most annoying Zerg style ever for Protoss to deal with. It's almost infuriating to watch, but it's so good. Like, I would say that Dragon is probably one of the best Protoss vs Zerg players in the foreign scene. At least when it comes to these best of 1 situations. And like, his win rate definitely shows that as well. Like, if you look at his PvZ win rate, he's got a 63% win rate against Zerg over 19 games. That is ridiculously good. And he's got a 70% win rate overall. Like, not many players can say they've got a record like that. These are casted from replays. There's 8 best of 5 series. No, this season there's 4 best of 5 series, but with 8 teams played on the weekend. It's a global team league, so essentially all the games are played on Sunday, and then they're casted live from replay on Monday, Wednesdays, and sometimes Friday. No one has seen the games, so there's no chance of anyone spoiling anything. The only people that could spoil it are the people that are actually playing the games themselves, but I've never had anyone spoil a single game so far, which I'm very thankful about. But yeah, there wouldn't be enough time in the day to cast 4 best of 5 series with 8 teams live. Cadenzi coming in saying Rota wins. Well, unfortunately, Rota didn't play this week, so that's wrong. He won last week, though. Okay, third hatchery is up already. Gateway is up as well. The wall is kind of semi-complete here, so Link shouldn't be able to bust in. Second gas on the way already. We've got Stargate coming in as well. Very standard play from Dragon. Okay, we've got Hydra starting to flood out a little bit. It's not really a super all-in Hydra bust because he's going for a 4th hatchery as well, but he's going to try and apply a little bit of pressure. This will force out a few cannons, but yeah, we'll have to find out, see how that's going to play out. Okay, second cannon has been added on. Looks like Dragon does know that this could be a possibility, but will there be enough Hydras to be able to break through the front here? Because we are very close to that 6-minute curse that we observed in Season 1, 2, 3, and 4, where a lot of games would just end at 6 minutes due to one reason or the other, but it looks like the Corsair is going to see the Hydras. Won't see any further Hydras running over, so he shouldn't overreact with cannons. I think this should be enough to hold on, but does need to be careful. Yeah, looks like this will be enough. He will add a 3rd safety cannon just to be sure. Unfortunately, the gateway is probably going to go down, but there's not really too many Hydras attacking this. Hydra range isn't quite yet done, so he can't attack fully without running into range of the cannons. Looks like one of the Hydras very close to death. Saving his Hydra by moving another one into the fire, definitely not something you want to do very often. But yeah, looks like the Forge will survive. Extra cannons being added on just in case, because he's probably going to lose his Forge at some point soon, and there's not really much he can do about that. The gateway going down is a little bit frustrating for Dragon, but he'll just add a couple of gates in his main to make up for it. We've got a drone up here that's most likely going to be a misrally. You can't build a proxy hatchery here, but we'll have to see. Evo chamber coming up, +1 attack coming in for ranged. Everything looking pretty normal for what's going on, which is always good. So we're past the 6-minute curse mark. Luckily, it looks like we are going to be heading into a pretty nice, I don't know about long game, but we're definitely going into the mid game with neither player at a major advantage. Dragon maybe overbuilt cannons a little bit, which is going to delay his additional gateways, which does mean he's not going to be able to push as fast. Now that will allow Sodam to kind of build up. He's going into his 6th hatchery, with his actual 6th hatchery being his 4th base. This is a gas base, so he'll definitely need that moving further into the game. But Dragon has a timing here. He's got +1 done. He has speed on his zealots, and he is going to be going towards that 6th hatchery, trying to get a kill if he can. He knows where his opponent's going to expand to, and if he can lock his opponent on 2 gas, there is a high chance we are going to be going into a very long game here. Now, there is no Nexus at the 3rd base just yet. Not super important for Protoss to take that early on, but we'll be looking to get those as soon as possible. Looks like these Zealots get the hatchery drone and do pull back. The Hydras get forced back away from where they wanted to attack as well, so... Spire finished. Overlord speed about halfway done, give or take. Lots of drones here from Sodam's side. 53 drones already. He's got more drones than there are probes. And that is something you don't see very often, which is pretty cool. It means his economy is absolutely insane right now, but he still doesn't actually have that many bases, so he's not really making the best use of the drones just yet. It does give Dragon a chance to build up a big army and get ready to do a kind of counter push. Lots of drones being transferred to this 4th base, but maybe a little bit early. Looks like the Zealot's getting here just in time to catch all of the drones, but with so many Hydras here, I don't think he's going to be able to break this. Lurker's coming in behind. Means these Zealots probably aren't going to be able to get away here. Looks like he's going to try and run away with as many as he can. Does get 4 away from this main force, but not really doing too much. You can see the drone transfer being a little bit too early. So it does cause a lot of distance mining, which is another kick to the economy, as it were. Yeah, another 2 hatcheries coming in. Now, I think this hatchery is actually walling this in. So I think he may have to cancel this. I don't think Lings... Maybe they can. It's so hard to tell. But I'm fairly certain big units aren't going to be able to fit through here. And that could be a problem. Now that is a very good storm by Dragon. Wonderful storms on those lurkers. He's getting exactly where the lurkers are. My goodness. Dragon definitely showing why he's so good at PvZ, pushing forward. Only Dragoons left though against a lot of Lings. Definitely isn't a fight he wants to be taking. Zealots do need to get in gear and move to the front to soak some of those hits. And that's a Whiff Storm. The first Whiff Storm so far this game though. Dragon definitely showing he is very, very good. Now this engagement is going to continue on. We do have some reinforcing Dragoons coming down here, but there's not actually that many Dragoons left. The Hydra count isn't very high either though, so if he can push forward, it wouldn't be too bad. There is only a single observer, does need to be very careful. Sodam focusing it, does manage to save it, does Dragon. And it looks like this engagement is going to continue on. We have a lot of Zealots moving down here while this is going on. We have the 4th base coming up for Dragon as well. Oh, it's the 3rd base. They didn't even take the mineral only. Oh, and the observer goes down, so this means he is going to have to fall back. There is one more left, but definitely not something he really wants to be dealing with. Now, while this is going on, Dragon still holds the supply advantage, but the drone advantage has kind of dwindled a little bit. Dragon definitely powering ahead in supply as we move forward here. That is something you would expect in PvZ, but definitely not something that you want to see from the Zerg perspective. He's got a lot of money, but maybe not enough units he can build it on, and the units he's spending it on maybe aren't doing the most here for him, so he does need to be careful. I will take a look at the gate count in just a sec. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gateways overall. 9 gateways, sorry. Nexus coming in for the 4th base. We've even got a 5th base coming in over here in the top right. While he is being so aggressive, it can make it very, very difficult for the Zerg player to really go and scout all those bases. So Dragon definitely doing a good job. Seriosity said all Nexus, all Nexus no. Oh, Cadenzi said that. Sorry, all Nexus no gates. Yeah, Dragon is definitely in a good position army-wise. He's able to push out on the map. He's able to keep up that pressure. And most importantly, he's able to keep the Zerg unit count low, which means Sodam hasn't really been able to send his units out to scout the best he can. Now, a lot of Lings have slipped by. Dragon's army moved to the wrong side just a little bit, but no, they're coming back. They could have easily got that Nexus, but they are going to choose to fight. A drone is actually going to be the thing that finds that base most likely, as he's going to try and expand to the top right. Expanding to the bottom left is definitely a little bit easier from the Zerg perspective, I would say. But this is kind of funny. Sodam is not going to see this base. There's there's so many units so close to that 5th base, and he doesn't know about it. Very unfortunate scouting. Back home, we do have the Hive kicking in. We've got the Defilum already. Consume is coming up as well. Double upgrades still coming in. I think it should be triple upgrades now. Yep, triple upgrades. We have 1-1 on melee. We have 2-1 on ranged, so looking pretty good upgrade-wise. Dragon, meanwhile, is on 1-2. Going for that... I want to say it's a modern style choice, but I've seen a lot of Protoss players go for 1-2 instead of 2-1 recently. Yeah, Dragon is... Oh, this is kind of funny. A Zergling went up to protect the drone to check if there's any zealots there, and he runs into all the probes transferring. But yeah, Dragon is definitely a very macro-orientated player. He will take as many bases as he wants, and if he knows he has the Zerg in a position where he's controlling their unit movement, he will just mass expand. But that Ling found something he didn't necessarily want to find, I think. But there we go, looks like Dragon going to move forward. This is quite a difficult engagement to take. Some of the Dragoons at the front getting taken down by a Lurker, which is a little bit unfortunate to see. One Lurker getting taken down though. Here we do see Plague coming in though, and that's on a lot of those Zealots. Makes these very strong, but look at the power of that Storm. 4 kills! Sniper Templar right there. So many Storms coming down, but so many High Templar going down as well. A lot of Archons being made though, and that means Dragon is in a very good spot. Archon's not... Oh my god, plaguing his own units. It's not very often you see Zerglings with 2 health just running around. But Archons are going to love those. We've got some Lurkers not burrowing up here, but a little bit unfortunate. Even plaguing his own Defiler. There we go. That's what we love to see. Hatchery coming up next to the base. Is he gonna like sunken push this? This is such a weird place to build the hatchery, but I suppose if you're gonna do it, you may as well. Dragon getting ready to expand again. Drones getting caught off guard here, maybe being rallied. Oh no, they're being transferred down to this base. But unfortunately he didn't use his Nidus, which is already finished. Dragon is from Canada, yes. He is one of the... Well, I think he is the best Canadian player, without a doubt. We also have another Canadian coming up right about now. We have Whip coming up in game number 4, so... Yeah, Sodam is a Korean Zerg. That's the beauty of the game. You see, you have no idea who it is, but as the games go on, you'll learn more and more about them, you'll learn about their style, and you may even become a fan, so that's what you love to see. Okay, the Zerg is now up to 5 bases as well. We've got a lot of units down here. This is a really nice place for a Nidus Canal, by the way. It's in between all of the bases. It kind of allows him to swing in from either side, given we have 2 Niduses on the left and right. We've got another base coming up over here on the left, another base in the bottom left as well, and Dragon is taking another main. Lots of engagements going on at the moment where Dragon is still trying to keep the pressure up. So many Archons over here makes this so difficult, but 2 High Templar getting sniped there. A little bit of miscontrol by Dragon, and this is definitely not somewhere where he can push in. Like, I may not be a Protoss player, but I know he can't break here. But with more Zealots coming in, maybe he can make something happen. He's going to try and snipe one of the Niduses to stop the unit reinforcements getting in so quickly. Niduses have such little health, man. But with Swarm coming in, the Dragoons can no longer do anything, and the Archons are in a lot of trouble as well. Saving Private Archon. This Archon has to get away with 15 kills. 6 kills on this one. And it looks like both of them are going to go down. Caster cursed, but these Archons definitely worth their weight in gold. A lot of observers down here as well. 4 with the main army. Sodam with a very nice number of drones right now, but most of his supply is drones. So every time he's taken these engagements, Dragon has the advantage. I guess Dragon's army is kind of the same supply right now. When you counter in the probe count, but oh, I really love this, by the way, the DT blocking this area so Lings can't run through. That is really, really cool. Looks like this didn't block. I thought this would genuinely block, but luckily enough for Sodam it didn't. Now, the interesting thing is we get... Oh my god, that Plague is so huge. That's on like all of his units. Oh, and the Observers get hit as well, so 3 of them go down immediately. Oh man. Absolute assassin Hydralisks. Now, the interesting way about the way this map works... It looks like Dragon wants to try and expand on the right. But it is so difficult to expand to these mid-right and mid-left bases that we are going to see a big tug of war between both players the longer this game goes on, and these bases are going to become the only bases that aren't mining, because it's so hard to take them. Dragon, realistically, the later the game goes on, if he can defend this area, he can expand over here, but that leaves his main open to counters. And he doesn't have many cannons here. He does have some Reavers, so he's already gone into Reavers, which is good. That does allow him to manage that. These Archons, once again, pulling back with ridiculous kill numbers. He's going to turn around and... Yeah, there we go. 3 attack, 2 armor, 1 shields. We've even got +3 armor coming in. Do we have +2 shields? Yes, we do. Dragon is playing for the late game here. We do have a DT attacking something. Oh, the DT's stuck. It wasn't for a wall, he just can't get out. That's kind of funny. Oh well, I thought he was doing something really cool, but nope, the DT just can't leave his base, so there we go. We do have observers checking for both of these bases as well. Looks like we're going to see an expansion attempt by Sodam just as the Observer leaves, but the Observer comes back to see this, and we should see these Zealots go straight over there, but another engagement in the middle. Lings on their own, even with... Wait, is that 3-3 upgrades already? 3-3 upgrades on the Lings, but 3-3 Lings on their own, not really going to do too much. Main is now mined out, the Natural is about to mine out as well. I mean, I guess it's doing a little bit more healthier than good old Dragon, who has mined out of both his main and the Natural, but that's fairly standard. Now, this is what we hate to see. 1 swarm, 2 swarms, and that's going to be a dead Nexus. Oh my god, he has so many storms though. Storm! Storm! No, he doesn't storm! He could have saved the base! Oh my god, he had 250 energy worth of storm, and he didn't use it, but 2 Reavers airlifting in. If they go under the swarm, the Hydras can't attack them. Oh, but there's so many Lings there that you just can't see. That is kind of funny. Okay, it looks like the base will go down, but Dragon is still taking the other bases, but another Defiler swarm push. Another Nexus is going to go down. Swarm is a powerful, powerful spell. If only Protoss understood the power of technology, maybe we wouldn't be in this position, but... Looks like Dragon is going to come back and try and defend his base. There's 2 Hydras, 3 or 4 hits away from death. The Nexus survives. Dragon going to re-expand. Sodam now is in an insane position. Dragon is currently up. Well, sorry, Sodam is nearly maxed. He's got 72 workers, so he has 132 units worth of army supply, which is ridiculous. 128, sorry, I can't do math. That's why you don't do math on stream, but here we go. Looks like we do have, like, Lings running around. They are going to go and snipe this Nexus. They're just going to have to cough on the Nexus and going to go down. But the Reaver, King Reaver, look at this. Can this Reaver save everything? Yes, it can. No! So close! But the Nexus goes down. 1 more Scarab, and he would have been able to hold it. Very unfortunate. Another Nexus goes down. 1 missed Scarab was all that took. But Zerglings, Defilers, all that good jazz. Oh my goodness, the Reaver. Reavers are so dumb. Reavers are so powerful, but they're so dumb. And there we go. Looks like we are going to have some Storm coming down on these Lurkers. There's no Observer, I think, with this army, so he cannot see What is killing him? Oh, he can. There is an observer somewhere. Yeah, it's above the Dragoons. But it's not in position. The invisible killer's down here for Sodam. More lurkers coming in on the right. This time, there's zealots here to respond, though. Nice storm. There's a lot of lurkers here, though. He's just running lurkers in. Like, this is how rich this man is. This is how rich this man is. Reavers, once again, does he have the damage upgrade? Yes, he does. But he doesn't have the Scarab capacity upgrade, so he can't get the full use of the Scarabs just yet. Oh, storm going down on the... Oh, it doesn't even kill it! The Defilers are so good! Now, I did say it'd be hard for the Protoss player to take the bases on the right and left, but the Zerg has taken both. The hatchery nearly went down here on the right, but a lot of units went down for Dragon. He has to fight consistently against Swarm and Lurkers, and it really whittles down his army. Plague, of course, does a big job as well. Dragon, with not a lot of money, but a lot of probes, means he is constantly refilling. Looks like we do have a push over here on the right. Lots of Lurkers coming in, but oh my god, that's a juicy storm waiting to happen. Does he have any energy? Storm! Storm! Storm the Lurkers! You have to storm the Lurkers! No! Storm them, finally! The storm goes in, kaboom! Lots of dead Lurkers, but another 3 Lurkers here as well. This man is so rich that he... Oh no, he's not attacking... The Reavers stopped attacking the hatchery for some reason. No! He could have killed it! Kill the hatchery! He's not got any Scarabs! It's 1 Scarab away! Oh my goodness, he's gonna lose the Reavers before they can kill the hatchery. Oh no. Oh, that is heartbreaking. Oh, he doesn't even get it. Oh. Oh no. Reavers on the other side doing exactly the same thing. They still do not have Scarab capacity. DT trying to take down the... Oh my god, please some of this isn't going to survive. Oh, he doesn't survive this time. A Zealot here could even run in and kill this, but there's so many units. A lot of units pushing through the middle from Dragon. A big push on the top right-hand bases. Not many storms available. Reavers coming in reserve. Can he hold on to his base? Not enough energy on that High Templar for another storm. Dragon feeling a little bit too aggressive, but here we go. The Reavers have been taken out again. Oh, looks like they came back home, but ooh, the Reavers are so low on health. Looks like this Reaver's gonna go down. Not enough Scarabs. He needs the Scarab upgrade. But Zerg definitely showing to be a very strong race so far in these recent years. LRM game wondering why Zerg isn't switching to Ultralisks. Well, there is an Ultralisk cabin, but realistically, if you use Ultras and you lose them all, you die. So, there we go. Yeah, we've got a lair coming up for more HP on this this hatchery as well. This is such a rough game for Dragon. We're 28 minutes in. Dragon is in a weird place. Consume on Hydras. Who needs Lings? This man's so rich. He doesn't care. 2 Reavers. 1 with no Scarabs again. Needs to get those Scarab numbers up. These are rookie numbers. So many Lurkers over here. Dragon is going to find himself mined out. He needs to stop our Zerg player from mining. But the Zerg is not very healthy either. If Dragon can break one of these locations, he has a shot. But it's rough. It's tough. And it's going to blow your mind when we see what happens here, most likely. Nexus being rounded on. There is enough minerals to really felicitate this, but a load of Reavers, Zealots going over to the right-hand side hatchery. He has to try and secure this base. This base is worth so much for him. It's not been mined by our Zerg player yet. It's the only healthy base on the map, and it is imperative that Dragon can hold on. But Lurkers, Hydras coming from both angles. Is this a Protoss army that can deal with these units? The Reavers dropping in the Lurkers. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, the Reavers not going to be useful here. The Ultralisk coming in. If only he had the Reavers, this would be so good. But But Dragon, with a weird drop on his Reavers there, loses them for free, and all of a sudden, the Ultralisks are looking powerful. But with a Reaver damage upgrade, that's 125 damage per hit, but they take so long to fire. Let's see what he can do. Storm does absolutely nothing realistically to Ultras. Oh, another kill. This is really rough now for this Reaver. This Reaver cannot get away from the Ultras. It's going to be Ultras meleeing a Reaver. Not something you see every day, but will it survive? No, does go down. Now both players are still trading relatively easily. Sodam may have more bases, and he may have more drones, but he's losing a lot of units every time this goes on. This base is very close to death. If Dragon could switch to scouts, he would actually be in a good spot to kill this base, which is not something you would see every day. But Zealot's coming in over here to kill this base again. Lots of trading going on. Zealot's very, very good against Ultras. Plague on the Zealots, though, going to make the Zealots very, very weak. But with 3-3, almost 3-3-3 upgrades, they are the strongest they can be. Dragon kills the hatchery on the right. Is he sending a probe down here? It doesn't look like it. But the problem that Sodam has, Ultras are so expensive. He had such a massive bank. But if you start losing those Ultras piecemeal, you're going to lose the game. And that looks like what could be happening here. His bank is gone. Every Ultra that he loses is a way for Dragon back into this. And Sodam is in such a weird position right now, and a high temp player with no energy getting a little bit too far forward. This one has energy, doesn't storm, does use the storm in the end, but Dragon's army is so small. Where is Dragon's army? Like, where are his units? He's got so much supply, but no units over where he needs them. The Zerg, of course, isn't taking this base, which is a bonus. It allows Dragon to try and re-expand there a little bit later. No, there's not a TVZ last game. It's a TVT between Tossgirl and Whip. I put the wrong name on the thingy. Ultras coming on in, taking a little bit of damage from the Storm, but Storm tingles Ultras. Kasamir's just banned and removed the ban on SCTV because he lied to him. That's really funny. Unlucky. Don't lie to Kasamir, man. He doesn't like liars. I don't like liars either. But like Lucky Noob is like the mod who's like he's quite peaceful, like he doesn't really do anything too much. But then Castamuse, like he doesn't hold back, man. He's got his like hand on the trigger just waiting. He's like, someone say something out of line. I want to ban someone. Let's go. Okay, Dragon still in an okay position. He's got a supply advantage again. Lots of Reavers against the Ultras should do a very good job here. They're very, very tightly packed up. But he still doesn't have the Reaver upgrade for Scarabs. He needs more Scarabs. I know you can constantly build them, but if you don't constantly build them, that's it. A DT coming in here gets an Ultra. Assassin. Oh. He consumed an Ultra! He did it! An actual Ultra consume in a game! Oh man, I can't believe... Oh man, what an Ultra consume. That gives you double the energy. Okay, that Archon fired a little bit late. I wonder if that Archon's a little bit drunk. Here we go, these Ultras, they're dying so fast. Sodam, it's turning so fast. Ultras, my man, are not good against late game Protoss if you've got the upgrades, if you've got the Reavers. Dragon is in a position where he can win this game now. With 34 minutes in, Dragon is about to mine out on most of his bases, but his trades are BIS, man. They're best in slot. Oh my god, I just said something that my friggin' brother says all the time, but there we go. Look, no scarab. Where's the scarabs? You need the scarabs, Dragon. Get the scarab. Like the where's his robo support bay? There's an upgrade here you forgot. There's an upgrade here you forgot. Yeah, Cadenti asking where the lings at. Why would you need lings when essentially ultras are just bigger lings? Why would you need the lings? Looks like we do have some coming in now. But so many ultras have died. We've got the Nexus coming up over here on the right hand side. The left hand base is halfway mined out. The lair is almost dead. Now realistically, Dragon cannot attack that base as well as defend this one. So all of Dragon's forces are going to be over here on the right hand side. Archon's actually blocking the Reavers from doing any damage. But look at this, Sodam nearly mined out of this base, nearly mined out of here, although this mineral specifically has not been mined this whole time. That's something, mined out of the mineral only. Dragon nearly mined out of this base, probably about a third of the base left. The mineral only did last a while. His mineral only in his main is almost gone, but that lasted a very, very long time as well. There we go, looks like another engagement. Reaver getting sniped off by these Hydras. 13 kills, 11 kills, 3 kills. Lots of damage being done by these Reavers. 3 upgrades. Where else would we see that here? "36 minutes in the game now. Dragon reinforcing his army. A Mutalisk switch coming in now. That is good against Reavers, but not so good against Archons, which is another big part of the units. Now, one thing I didn't check, and one of the important things in this game, is the gas count. Depleted. Depleted. This gas will be depleted as well. This gas is almost gone. No gas here, of course. This gas is halfway, a little bit healthy, third of the way done. And then this gas is almost full. Sodam is about to run out of gas, essentially. And there is a great Aspire morphing as well. This Ultra is having to kill an Evo Chamber to get out of his base. Now, Dragon's gases. Depleted in the main. Depleted in the natural. Depleted in the third. Almost depleted in the fourth. Depleted in the fifth. No gas on the 6th, and in the 7th base, a full gas. We are going to be down to 1 gas versus 1 gas. Mineral units are going to become so unbelievably important. And look at this, the Great Aspire was for Guardians. And there's very little that Dragon has that can deal with this. He has no air units. He doesn't really have the amount of gas he needs to build the air units either. He is going to pull his units back. They have been plagued. Can't really push forward. But this is the move that could actually win Sodam the game. Storm coming down, but look at the spread. Absolutely amazing spread there by Sodam. The Nexus is going to go down. This is one of the last remaining bases. 2 storms do kill a Guardian. Looks like that's a very, very nice storm. Only 2 remaining. Lots of probes went down, but it gives him more money for, it gives him more supply for money. No upgrades on air, by the way, so the Guardian's not really doing all that much. Denzi's not playing today, Dota. Denzi doesn't play this game anymore. But look at, this is so annoying. The Archons can't get in a position to attack, so the Nexus is going to go down. He doesn't even have... Does he have vision? Yeah, he does have vision over them. Oh, there we go. Triple kill. Triple kill. Canenti saying Kix can cast our EU4 games. I'm too dumb to understand Europa Universalis. Now, he did save his Nexus, so Dragon is definitely in a good position now. Sodam down to 59 drones. His last remaining gases are depleted. It's 1 gas versus 1 gas in this game. And Protoss probably have a better time with just mineral units. Custom use, if the stream's lagging, check out the YouTube stream. You can change the quality options. Yeah, this is definitely looking rough now for Sodam. Sodam going to try and move in and try and take a look at this. Look at the amount of cannons. 2 Reavers here. But no Scarab upgrade! If he had more Scarabs, just think of how much more damage this would be. Oh my god, lucky. But there we go, the cannon's getting taken down by Lurkers, but look at the storm, an absolutely beautiful storm here. Defiler getting taken down by the Reaver. Lurkers getting taken down by Reavers as well. Sodam making his final push possibly in this game. Dragon supply is not moving. Dragoons aren't going to do anything against the Lurker under Swarm though, so he has to move back. 2 more Reavers coming in from the other side. Both of them going to go down. Does get the last Lurker though. Dragon's supply is dwarfing that of the Protoss, and look at this. Sodam is mined out at the left-hand base. The only base remaining is this one. And a few minerals in the main as well. Dragon has outlasted the Zerg. He's even outmined the Zerg. He's undermined the Zerg somehow. Oh, I do check the YouTube chat sometimes. Cadenzi said hi. But Cadenzi, it shows your real name there, so I don't know if you knew that. Do I stream to a StRyKeR? Oh, I do. I didn't even realize I streamed to a StRyKeR. I didn't think anyone would watch me there, so I never noticed. I must have put it on restream and forgot. My bad, Casters. I'll check it more often. I thought because it's 4 AM in Korea, no one would watch me there, so... kind of feel bad for not checking it. There is a restream chat specifically. I should probably run that, actually. How do I get to it? Ah, there's a chat app here. Oh, you can open it in browser. I'll do that. But here we go. Focusing on the game here. It looks like this could be the final push from Sodam as he runs out of units and runs out of time. This Archon. Traitor Archon once again. Cadenzi saying she can't go on Africa Casters will ban me. Yeah, Dragon has played an absolute blinder of a game here to win. Because he wasn't super behind, but base-wise he was very behind at one point. And he has traded absolutely perfectly so many times that the Zerg player is essentially down to their final minerals. 4 mineral patches left, 2 of them with a lot of minerals, and that's it. No gas remaining for the Zerg here whatsoever. And that's going to be all she wrote. Dragon with an absolute stellar game, really showing why he's ranked 13 in the STPL. Because realistically, you don't get much better than that. 43 minutes into the game. Are we going to make it into the top 10? We've made it. We're in the top 5 longest games by a minute and a half. There we go. GG. Sodam taps out. Dragon wins game number 3. Wins the series for NaS. And wins a really, really good game. We have another fantastic game coming up after this short break. It's going to be a TBT between Tossgirl and Whip. You won't want to miss it. See you guys very soon. Okay guys, welcome to game number 4. NaS have won the series against possibly the favourites to win the tournament with 3-0, taking a walkover victory in game number 1 as well. But two fantastic games played by STRYKER and Dragon, really showing why they're so damn good. When you're looking at this matchup here, we have another great matchup. We finally have a TBT, and I'm hoping it's going to be a long one. Starting us off here in the top left-hand corner is Jisoo, also known as Tossgirl. She was on STX Seoul, right? If I'm remembering correctly, Cadenti and Castamuse. Like, I'm not really 100% sure, but pretty damn cool. Yeah, STX. She was an STX player. And up here in the top right-hand corner, we have the Canadian Terran fighting for NaS. It's Whip. And yeah, it's Tossgirl, Castamuse. That's what Cruiser told me anyway. Yeah, 残念ながら俺は日本語しかできないんだよね。韓国語できないんだけど。まあ仕方ないか。Yeah, unfortunately, I can't speak Korean, so it's makes it a little bit difficult for me to communicate with Koreans, but one thing I've learned is there's a lot of Koreans who know Japanese, so it makes it a lot easier. I've made friends with a lot of Korean people that I wouldn't have been able to speak to if it wasn't for the fact we both knew Japanese. It's kind of cool. It's happened with a load of countries as well, but yeah, Whip is in NaS. He moved from DM last season to NaS. I think he was in DM last season because NaS weren't playing last season, if I remember correctly. Or was that the season before? Okay, so fairly standard fare for a TBT to start us off. Jisoo heading up to the top right-hand corner, getting the first scout, which is always good. Now, this is Talcross. It's one of the most famous standard maps of all time for 3-player maps. I'm sure many of the people in chat have played hundreds of games on this map across the past like 10-15 years. And not really much else to say other than that. Now, it would appear my hay fever, at least I think it's hay fever, is starting to catch up with me because my eyes start to itch. I've probably not been blinking enough. Also, SCTPL, like that's like low level. That's low level actually no longer man. Yeah, Koreans probably don't watch my stream either because it's at like 4 AM in the morning. SK saying he's not fluent in Weeb. He is ankle deep in Weeb. Fair enough. Are you planning to learn any more? Because if you do, it's a worthy journey. You can make friends with a lot of really cool people. And it'll open a load of doors, which is cool. SK, yeah, he's only going for the memes. That's disappointing, man. The memes you get from actually like talking with Japanese people, like Japanese memes are so good. And like the stories you hear from Japanese people are friggin' hilarious. Like I've made like really good friends with a lot of Japanese people over the last year. And some of the stuff like I can't translate it because without being in like the friend group you wouldn't get it. Or like it just sounds so weird, but it's so funny. But it looks like Jisoo gonna come in, lose her first Vulture against Whip, so that's a little bit of a victory there for Whip early on in the game. Yeah, unfortunately the stream isn't very... It's not very kind to Koreans because I don't really put any Korean text anywhere. The trouble is, like, if I knew Korean I would. Like, I would have Korean and English, but unfortunately, oh, I said the wrong category in Africa. You could have told me that sooner. I've had the same category there for, like, ages. Customers, why did you ban StarCast? What did he say? What did Cruiser say? Okay, it is a TBT. I know I'm not talking as much about the game, but we've got a Wraith coming in here. TBT early on, there's not really much going on, so... Oh, he said what's up. A costume is being evil. Get to say ban him again. Jesus. Okay, we've got tanks coming in for Jisoo aka Tossgirl, whereas Whip is going for the... oh my god, everything is going well for Whip here. He always has the right units in the right place. But it looks like Tossgirl wanted to try and build some Marines in the main and get away with heading into the mineral line with those Marines. But it didn't really work out too well. Gonna lift the racks back up and fly away. Obviously the racks for Whip is going to fall very soon to these rates, so he's going to have to either add on another racks immediately or another couple of factories if he doesn't want to fall behind. I can read that says Sumnida at the end, I think. Right? Is that right? You think? I know, like, a few of the Hangul. I tried to learn all of them, but I failed. Oh, but Vulture's coming into the main base here. Most of the SCVs being pulled away, but Whip getting every little advantage he can in this game. Doing a pretty good job. Oh my god, reading chat right now is hilarious. Ton Togger said it's an honor to see Castamies in the chat with all of us mortals. And then Castamies said, "Get out, idiot." Oh my god. Oh, that's incredible. Oh, that's good. That's real good, I like that. Just bad timing from Castamies' part. Just makes the costumes look so mean. Oh man. SQ saying me laughing is the best. Thank you. We've got a... Oh, I love this play. Look at this! Whip is already in position. Look at this man. How is he always in position with his units? Oh, but this isn't good. Oh no, he lost 3 of his tanks, doesn't manage to kill the tanks on the high ground, and now he's going to be losing his second gas. The SCV should be fine, but this is not looking good. But 3 tanks at a time for Whip, even though he's only on 2 bases. No additional factories. Where is the barracks? Has he not rebuilt his barracks? Oh, he's got barracks in his main. He needs more factories right now. It's 3 versus 4 factories, 5th factory coming on the way as well. But he needs the 5th factory to really counteract this this aggression. Oh, apparently what he said was "get out, idiot." Castamies was translating what Artosis said in Korean to someone. Okay, so Jisoo is in a very... Is it Jisoo? Jisoo? I think it's Jisoo, right? But... Yeah, so Jisoo is in a very, very good position. There's not really going to be too much chance of actually expanding to his natural again for Whip. So Whip, with the quick 3rd base, is going to kind of make up for that, get a 3rd gas a little bit quicker. And Jisoo is kind of putting all of her efforts into stopping the natural, so... I mean, we can already see Vultures heading around to the top, stop one of the expansion attempts at the beginning. Cadenti says to ban, or sends to Castamuse to ban Mind Flayer. And then Castamuse just says, I will ban you, Denti. And then Cadenti says, suddenly Lucky Noob seems like a good moderator. This is live from replays, Beshta 2018. So the games were played on Sunday, all played at the same time, which is why we can't cast them live. But by casting them live from replays, no one else has seen the games. We just saw some incredible games leading up to now. So there we go. We've got a really cool TVT here. If you don't know who Jisoo is, it is actually Tossgirl from STX Seoul against one of the best Canadian Karen players. We do have these tanks being cleaned up, but look at... I love this. Look at this, just bringing 2 SCVs. The SCVs cannot be outdamaged. And look at this! Keeps the tank alive. And the Goliaths come and clean up the race. Would you look at that? I love it. I love that kind of play. This is just so good. The only thing that would make this more broken is if you could build turrets up here like on Lost Temple. But Jisoo is still on the same number of bases as Whip. Whip is actually close in supply. They've got the same number of SCVs. And of course 2 of them are actually, 2 of them are busy repairing the tank. Range kicks in for the Goliath though, so both of those Wraiths do go down. And that puts Whip in a bit of an odd position. Oh, nice move by Whip. Pulls a lot of the SCVs away from the expansion. Gets a couple of kills. Gets a lot of mines laid as well. Stops the units from coming over to an easily 4th base. The barracks coming over here to try and get vision. But Whip needs more tanks here to be able to deal with this. He has to cross the T. That's a naval term where you essentially attack a straight line from the vertical side. But due to the positioning, that makes it very difficult. And you can see that Jisoo has really put her units into a position to stop that happening. Now, there is a drop coming into the main. There's 6 tanks going to be dropping into the main here. This could be a little bit of a mistake. Lots of tanks coming out. This is not a good drop. This drop should be cleaned up immediately. Faster siege coming in for Jisoo, though, so the initial volleys will come in for her, but many tank in the main. And that's a drop that cannot be recovered from. SCP saying crossing the T being talked about in Brood War. Why isn't that surprising? I always bring it up. I bring it up every TBT. And mini tank in main is my boxer reference for the day. Now, turrets coming up for Jisoo, knowing that she lost a lot of her dropships and her units, so does need to worry about that. We've got a command center coming up at the 4th base, but it's a little bit off position, I don't know why. But looks like Whip is getting into a position to cut off the bottom half of the map. Now, if he can secure the other main base, he has essentially won this TVT. Yeah, Rota said that, sorry, Rota, Boxer said, like, that is many tank, yes. That was on, wasn't that on Python or Lost Temple? It was one of those 2, wasn't it? Now, we've got a very good position here by Whip. Like, if we zoom out, Jisoo essentially is blocked off from any other bases. The only base available is the mineral only up here. In terms of strategic positioning, Whip is at the advantage. If he can get some turrets up here as well, then life will be good. Of course, Whip is only on 2 gas, whereas Jisoo is on 3. The natural has still not been reclaimed. Distance mining from the minerals as well. Realistically, probably better to land the command center over here and just mine, but I suppose that's kind of difficult. We did have a drop attempt coming out, but no, the dropships got back home at the very least. No drop on the tanks so far. Mines being laid behind the tanks to stop a drop there, which is amazing. And this is when, if Whip was Flash, he would be taking every other base on the map right now, because this is the time to do it. Vulture's getting into the 3rd base as well. Whip is in a great position in this TBT. He's down in supply, but up in pretty much everything that counts. Okay, a dropship goes down in the top middle. That's a little bit unfortunate. 20 supply advantage now for Jisoo means Jisoo is actually in a very good spot. Drop coming in into the main. I'm not sure I agree with this too much, pushing into the main, but I guess it does force a reaction. But there are some wraiths here that do kind of clean this up. The starport has lost its control tower. No more dropships will be completed over here. But Whip needs to hold this position, essentially. This position is the most important position on the entire map for him right now. And no, you can't give it up. You cannot give up this position. You have to secure the other bases. No, Whip is giving up the major advantage he had in this game. Why is Whip going home? If Whip just stayed here, he checkmates the game. Whip has made a massive strategic error here, pulling his units back when he shouldn't have done, and this could give Jisoo a chance to move forward. And that could be the difference that this game needs. It looks like Whip wants to be too aggressive. This could swing the game in Jisoo's favor massively, because Whip doesn't need to attack. It's TBT. Grab the bases. Take the main. Look at this, he's expanding down here. There is nothing stopping Jisoo from just going to take that base. Nothing. There's a few mines, that doesn't matter. Pushing across this bridge is not going to work. We have 1-0 against 1-0, but this is just going to be a lot of dead tanks. This is the biggest strategic mistake that Whip could have made in this situation. There is no reason to push this base. Absolutely no reason to push this. Maybe nerves got to Whip here. I'm not too sure. But definitely that was a major, major error. Now Whip does have a decent number of factories, but he is now down 40 supply and all of that is in army. And Jisoo is going to be able to really start to abuse that. If she just pushes south and starts to mass expand, this game could flip itself on its head. Whip was in a position where he could checkmate Jisoo, and then he threw it away. Now look at him try to move back to this position to defend his base. But look at how few units he has, and how much harder this is going to be now. Vulture's going to lay some mines at the front, which will help. But this is not a... like, he had this position sewn up. He had it sewn up completely. Still no drop to take out these tanks is a bit of a mistake here for Whip as well. Like, he has enough dropships to make this work. And the thing is, if you drop here with your own tanks, you block the enemy ever pushing here. So you don't need to defend this area, because tanks here defend all the way up to here. So that's one thing to take note on this map. Now Whip, realistically, at this stage in the game, Jisoo shouldn't have been able to take this base. If he hadn't have pushed to 12, which he doesn't need this base. Like, he doesn't need this base at all. Like, it's a mineral only. What's it going to do for you? Vultures? Vultures late game on this map are absolutely pointless. You ain't getting the vultures across the bridges, let's be honest. Now, looks like Whip is trying to move into a position. We've got a lot of turrets here, which helps out. But there's so many tanks from Jisoo now that Jisoo can break here. There's still only 1-0 against 1-0. No 2-1 done for either player at 18 minutes. Oh no, target fire with your tank, Whip. No! Whip not target firing as well. Oh man. Oh well, still gets 2 kills. But that tank should have died a while ago. And there we go. Okay, 1 tank does stand strong. These 4 tanks will kill it. Sending the 4 Goliaths could maybe delay this. But unfortunately, no target firing on the tanks again, so that's going to go down. And all of a sudden, Whip's bases that looked indestructible early on are now no longer indestructible, and Jisoo evens out the gas count. Now looks like we are going to have a push forward. Vulture's being used very well here, actually. Mines going off on some of those tanks. Goliath's going to help defend this, and Whip does, against all odds, take this position again. But Jisoo shouldn't have had this position to begin with. I'm going to keep going back to that, because if Whip loses the game, that could be the reason. But this is a sick TBT. Now I guess taking this position with turrets means you don't have to worry about drops in your main. And maybe that's what they're going for, but I genuinely don't think that's what Whip was aiming for by pushing to 12. I think he thought that he could break the tank line, and he just couldn't. Now the trouble is, he's got very few tanks here, which are doing absolutely nothing for him. This bridge is just not defended at all. Now Jisoo has a Valkyrie coming out here, killing a load of the Wraiths. I do love Valkyries, so I'm glad we got to see that. But now imagine if Jisoo grabs a ton of tanks and moves her units here. How does Whip go and defend his bases? Like, you can't. Oh, and look at this, drop on the other natural as well. Looks like there is enough tanks here to defend this time. But Whip really needs to look at dropping this high ground. If you drop this high ground, you can kill the refinery. And as long as you block your Terran opponent from having gas, that's all that matters in this game. TVT is it's a game of gas. If you have more gas than your opponent, you have more tanks. You have more chance of going BCs in the late game. And you can even go nukes with a lot of gas. If you're not mining gas, you will not win a TVT. And we're getting into a position where Tossgirl is mined out nearly in her main. Gas is depleted. Gas is almost gone. 2/3 gone in the natural. Minerals are almost gone. The third gas is halfway gone as well. Now, when you look at the makeup of the map, if Whip can block this gas, he wins the game. But yeah, Jisoo is playing very, very aggressively, and look at this. Jisoo knows. Gas is the key resource in this matchup, and Jisoo is just going to sit tanks right where it hurts. Jisoo is in a position to win this game. Whip is behind now. Whip still does not have his natural. This is a very heavy gas. Like, this is an incredibly good gas. But look, Jisoo now moving across above the high ground. There's absolutely nothing defending this area because there's no tanks on the high ground. And look, Whip is pushing forward again. Whip is down in supply. He's got a good position down here. He does block the base. Now Tossgirl is down to mining 1.5 gas. Let's count the gas for Whip. He's got one here. One here that's not mining, but will be mining very soon. One here. 2 gas for Whip essentially. 3 gas soon. And if he can take his gas in his natural, it'll be 4. Jisoo only has 1.5 gas. Jisoo is in trouble. The supplies are starting to even up a little bit. Jisoo reclaims the position here, but still no drop on the high ground from Whip. Whip is now going into his own Wraiths rather than dropships. I think that's a bit of a mistake. I mean, going Wraiths, at least you can clear up this, but you can do that with dropships as well. And look, here's that's what I was talking about before. Jisoo having free movement over this part of the map is going to be able to go into the middle of the map here and cut off the reinforcements from Whip's bases. Whip has very few units down here. There's no factories here either. Whip has got barely any units. Whip has so few tanks right now, he cannot hold on to this gas. And Whip is building vultures. Vultures are not going to win you the game in this situation. These need to be tanks. Every single factory you have has to be pumping tanks at this point. Because Jisoo's army is just too strong. And look at this, 4 SCVs repairing these tanks as well. Absolutely incredible play by Jisoo here. This is so good. Whip has no gas because he's building 4 Wraiths at a time. Like, these Wraiths aren't going to help. Jisoo is low on gas, so filling with Valkyries and Goliaths is going to be difficult. But Jisoo has a lot of minerals, so turrets are going to be built. This all dates back to that one moment where Whip essentially threw his tanks away at 12 when he could have held the left-hand side of the map. Jisoo never gets this gas if he just hard contains on that point. And that's where the problem starts to come in. Now the Wraiths go here rather than actually clearing out the natural to expand again. There's a dropship here that isn't really doing anything. That should have dropped some tanks on the high ground a while ago. But, I mean, Whip has played this well, but Jisoo is just playing out of her mind right now. Now, look at this. We will have a kill on this tank. But where's the upgrades? Whip has made such a strategic error in this game. +2 attack has only just started. +2 attack has only just started at 25 minutes. That is why he's losing the game. I feel so bad for Whip. He played so well. But unfortunately, just a few mistakes have just really added up and given Jisoo a massive advantage. Now, the game isn't over. It's TBT. Whip still doesn't have his natural. It's basically full. But look at this. The Goliath kills two wraiths. It's being repaired as well. It's mainly vultures coming up to defend this base in the bottom right. Once again, the high ground pod being used to stop this. Now, Jisoo is still, realistically, only mining on 2 gas. The gas in the natural is gone now. There are 2 mineral onlys. So if Whip can somehow trade well enough, Whip has a shot in this game. But it's going to be a tough path back into this game for him for sure. Jisoo, is she going for any additional upgrades? +3 attack is on the way. +3 attack not super important in Brood War, but in TBT even. Does help a little bit, especially with Goliaths. Now the base on the right, the mining is stopped a little bit, but essentially killing SCVs at this point is a mistake. Any SCVs you kill just gets refilled with tanks. Unless, okay. Jisoo might be overbuilding SCVs a little bit here. Now look at this, once again, Whip moving up to 12. He doesn't need to attack here. This does nothing for him. Taking this position is just going to lose you tanks. Whip doesn't have the supply to deal with this, and look at that, that tank on the high ground getting a shot as well. Now the only real option that Whip has right now is to just overbuild vultures and just hope that he can get something done with them. But look, I mean, two starports building. Hold on, how many gas is Whip on now? 1? Whip is on 1 gas. Okay, now it looks like Whip is going to clear out these tanks. That's a good move. That's definitely the move he should have made a little bit ago. But there's still more tanks here. There are 2 tanks here that should push, but the natural is still not taken. But in a super late game scenario, the nat not being taken actually helps Whip, because he is going to have a free to take base essentially. Now the starports are not going to be doing anything for Whip anymore, so he can't really realistically afford them. He should be swapping back into tanks. Tanks is the play. Look at this. Tanks at 12. Why are you contesting this? You don't even need to contest this. There's going to be no drop coming there for sure. Maybe sit further back. Let Tossgirl throw tanks into the meat grinder. Mine going off. Friendly fire. Tanks in the middle. Cleaned up once again by Tossgirl. Okay, that mine bugged out. Like, that mine should have actually gone off and killed the Goliath, but 2 naturals, both of them not mining. And also saying the real 5-head play is to switch to bio dropship. Could you imagine swapping to bio at this stage? That would never work, right? If someone made that work, I would probably just, like, I'm not confirming anything, but I would take a slot out of the prize pool to give them that if they won the game with bio from this point. Like, if they could do that, they deserve money, right? I don't care. I would basically, like, it would only work. I would only give them the money if it's a game like this where it goes super long and they go bio. Yeah, C did bio TBT in a televised match. I remember that. That was good. Boxer also went bio versus Higher on Blue Storm. He went for a bunker rush, and he just kept reinforcing with bio. And it was kind of funny because Higher couldn't actually get up of out of his natural for the longest time, because like he had to go tanks, and he was going vultures to begin with because there was bunkers on his high ground and everything. Okay, so many vultures coming in, but once again, I mean, what are these gonna do for you? I guess they'll just die. Oh, that's good. That's a good mine, but it does get blown up. That was a lot of minerals there, and not really very helpful whatsoever, unfortunately. Now, if he'd sent the vultures down here, that would be better. I almost feel like, how many scans does Whip have? One scan here, one scan here. No scans here. No scanner here, obviously. I feel like Whip is not scanning properly. That's the thing. Like, it feels to me like Whip is not using the information he has against Jisoo correctly. Like, Jisoo always knows where Whip's army is. And Whip never seems to go to the right places. Okay, Wraith's taking out a turret. Should really be clearing his natural, but looks like he wants to save his other natural for now. Whip is trying to starve Jisoo of gas. I understand this play. This makes sense. But Whip is also starved for gas, so every tank he loses is another advantage. And look, it's 3-1 against 2-0. Now this base will get taken down, but there's a Valkyrie. And look at the scan. Jisoo knows the Wraiths will probably come in to snipe the Valkyrie. Scans ahead. Perfectly done. No, this isn't how to use those Wraiths either. Whip definitely getting himself in a weird position. His natural is still gonna survive. Oh, still gonna... Oh my goodness. Flying into Goliaths and turrets. There we go, a scan's gonna come in, those Wraiths are gonna do nothing. I think the mistake of not going dropships has really messed up Whip here. Now, distance mining the minerals on the natural, that's all well and good, but he needs gas. And look, he's not even blocking this gas. Now, realistically, okay, putting my thinking cap on for a second, because it's not like I think very often, so it may hurt my brain a little bit. If Whip can somehow draw this game out another 20 minutes, Whip is going to win. Now, Jisoo has a position over this natural blocking the gas. Jisoo is only mining from one gas. This is the only gas base available to Jisoo at the moment. If Whip can stop this gas from being taken, and ensure he gets his own natural back somehow, he is going to win eventually. It's going to be a numbers game, and Whip will win. Now, Jisoo is still in an incredible position, but Jisoo can't technically run in and end the game, because she could also throw the game away. I'm going to unlock 100% of my brain. I'm going to go full brain man. Alpha brain. That's what I'm going for. Yeah, now Jisoo can technically end the game by taking the bottom, but it's too risky. There is a lot of tanks here still, and unless Jisoo wants to sacrifice a large chunk of the army, it's not worth pushing in. Now, Jisoo can win as long as she doesn't lose these two high ground pods. As long as these high ground pods stay alive, Whip is never going to mine any more gas. Whip is actually mined out of gas right now, I think. Yeah, Whip is mined out of gas completely. Whip is depleted on gas. Whip has no option. He can only build vultures and like the occasional tank every like minute or so. This absolute god squad of 3 Wraiths and 1 Valkyrie are going to be the nail in the coffin, I think, for Whip, because Whip really wanted to make Wraiths work, and they just didn't. Like, look at this Wraith. What's 1 Wraith going to do? Or what's 2 Wraiths going to do? Nothing. And one of them's going to die. And now another one's going to die as well. Now, the game ends when Jisoo drops on these tanks. This has been such a cool TVT, though. Whip was playing so incredibly well. And then he just made like a few very bad mistakes in a row, and with that Jisoo was able to swing the game's favor back into her game. Like, I feel bad for Whip because he could have won this game. Definitely. He has got the skill to take down Tossgirl for sure. Look at this, another Wraith goes down trying to take the 1 Goliath out on the high ground. Whip not even distance mining his minerals anymore because he knows he doesn't need the minerals. Now Whip should really have more turrets here to stop drops. Now this army's not looking bad, but he needs to get it into a position where it can do something, and this tank's blocking it. Whip still has this. This is still winnable. He just has to take his natural again. That's all he needs. He needs to take his natural or secure the bottom natural. Now, taking his natural would be better, but securing the natural essentially wins the game in its own way because Jisoo can't expand again. But there's just way more units down here. Okay, maybe not. There's actually less. Yeah, this is 37 minutes in the game, and these minerals are almost full. The gas is... He mined 34 gas. Wait, no, that's not 34 gas. I'm an idiot. He mined 304 gas. Like, that's all he got from his natural. Now, a turret does finish. King turret. Tossgirl probably getting a little bit frustrated with the way this game is going, because realistically Tossgirl is probably thinking, I should have won by now. Turrets are pretty good. Losing the Wraiths. Whip is now the one with the supply advantage. Now, it is mostly in Vultures. But if Whip can take out this base, he can win the game. This game is still anybody's game, and that is why... Oh, wait, bugged replay, maybe. Wait, is this a bugged replay? No, it can't be. They're building buildings, right? God damn it, Cadenzi, you confused me. I mean, with the number of... Wait. No, Tossgirl is building. Tossgirl is building. Custom use, I would ban Cadenzi for lying if you were still here. I can't believe she lied to the caster and got me confused. So not fair. Yeah, Whip can still win this game. It's hard to believe, but Whip's army is way bigger than Tossgirl's. Tossgirl, realistically, is Tossgirl ever going to expand to his natural? Is Tossgirl ever going to expand here? I don't think so. But if she does, imagine how alpha that would be. That would be like the Sigma male move, you know? That's like the step above alpha. Wait, is Sigma like better? I can't remember. Why has Whip never moved this tank 1 forward? 1 hex forward. 1 hex forward would have killed this command center. Oh, Whip is sacking his SCVs. He's like, you know what, I'm not going to mine anymore. Oh no, Whip says GG, no! He still had a chance. Wait, oh, dropship's going into his main. No, he didn't. Never mind. Never mind. I think that was a weird leave. But, you know what? I think Whip could have won that game. Whip definitely had the units to win that game. I think he was just too mentally broken. Whip was too mentally broken for that game there. Thank you, SCP, for the sub, man. that was a really good game. Glad you enjoyed it as well. We are going to head on over to the results screen and have a look at how that went. Let's give the win to Jisoo. Now, unfortunately, for StarCast, that doesn't change anything in terms of the overall result. What the hell am I looking at? Not the right page. There we go. 3-1 victory for NaS. Now, unfortunately, StarCast, their player left a little bit too early. Thank you, SCTPL, for the sub as well, man. Means a lot. Terra winning a walkover victory over SimSim. STRYKER winning over Fleta in a great game. Dragon winning over Sodam in a great game. And Jisoo winning over Whip in a great TBT as well. So that was an amazing game. And it's an amazing series, actually. That's definitely the best series so far this season. So that was definitely worth the wait. It was a long series, which is why I kind of knew, because I saw the replay length. And I'm like, I'm not casting a second series after this. I need to rest. I knew these games were going to be good. So I'll be back on... I am... What am I doing? I'm going to be casting Friday at 2100 CEST, 4 AM KST, 3 PM Eastern, 1 PM Pacific. I'll be back then. Thank you very, very much. I'm not going to be playing Diablo 2 tomorrow. I'm not going to buy that. No, thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you guys next time. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. And I'll be back on Friday. Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching this, you're watching the STPL. Hopefully, you've been enjoying what you've seen so far. If you want to help me make more STPL content to bring more tournaments to you, please support us on Patreon, which you can find up here. And also, there's so many different things you can get through Patreon. One of the main and one of the easiest ones to get is, of course, access to all of the replays of the STPL so far. We've had some amazing games, such as some of the games you can see just over here.